Hi guys, welcome to the kitchen. Here we go guys. Modified bloom, take 2. I started a video about half an hour ago and then my daughter and granddaughter came up and I put you guys on pause and they stayed so long that my paint skimmed over. So we're gonna start all over again. So my friend Elise asked me if I would be willing to do a kind of old school sort of modified bloom like I used to do, and I said, oh, absolutely, sure, I'd love to. Yeah, I have still not done it. So here we go. I'm out of practice. I warn you guys now, I did practice a little bit last night, and yeah, it's technique, and it's like use it or lose it. It wasn't all that great. So, wild eggplant, neon pink. This is TLP in shimmer. And this is another neon pink. I'm not really sure. It's a metallic pink, actually. Metallic pink. And this is a little bit of Payne's gray. A little bit of maybe contrast, I'm hoping. I'm hoping. This is TLP Harvest Gold mixed with FX. And FX is actually bronze, but it looks gold. It's bronze, but it looks gold. Okay, this is a tiny bit. We're not going to put a lot in, but we're going to put a little bit of the Deco satin enamel in buff. That's probably way more than what I wanted, but I've already done it. So let's put a little bit more of this bright pink because I don't want to put my cell mix right on the satin enamel. And then let's put a little bit of black cell mix and we'll blow this out. So I have no torch. My torch gave up the ghost last night. I dropped cell mix everywhere last night. Yeah, it was a good night. Okay, here we go. My head. Oh heavens, now I have paint in my hair. Not that that's unusual, but yeah, last night I was trying to blow my piece out so that you guys didn't have to look at the top of my head, but then, yeah, it was just a disastrous blowout. So, top of my head it is. So I have to tell you guys, if you're watching my YouTube channel, you are watching it commercial free. And I'll tell you why. Because YouTube and AdSense suck. That's my opinion. They suck. When you start a YouTube channel, there's quite a few loopholes to kind of jump through, and I really didn't have any interest in starting a channel. My friend Michelle from Grateful Creations encouraged me back in April. Okay guys, we're going to take this stick and modify. And I really wasn't too keen on it. My whole interest was just to kind of share what I've learned through acrylic pouring and maybe help out some people that were struggling along the way. But it seemed like a really good way to, you know, maybe earn a little bit of money and help to buy some products. Because as you all know, paint pouring is really expensive. So I, back in April, started myself a YouTube account, and Michelle was super helpful with my tech questions. And we got an account up, I got an account up and got it working. And there was a lot of qualifying steps that had to be taken. So first, I'm Canadian, so I had to go through a tax thing so that they could take US taxes, which was kind of overwhelming, but after several approaches, I figured that all out. And then, long story short, they send you, once this information is complete, they send you a PIN number, exact words, via snail mail. We're going to give it another spin, guys. And due to COVID, it came with a warning that it may take longer than normal because, as we all know, everything took longer than normal and everything was compromised due to COVID. So I understand that. That was in April. I have yet to receive my pin from YouTube, from Creator Studio. And so I reached out to them and said exactly that, talking to a computer generated thing. And it's a computer generated helpline, just kept putting me right back to the helpline. And yeah, it was super frustrating. It's like a dog chasing its tail and never ever catches it. So I requested a new pin. I was allowed to request a new pin after 4 weeks. So I waited 4 weeks. I requested my new pin, and their troubleshooting helpline referred me back to the same helpline that I've been going to all the way along, that gave me all this information on how to receive a pin. And by now I'm ready just to throw the whole computer out. It's like, I understand how to do it. I'm trying to explain to you, I can't do it. So over the course of the last 4 months, I have requested 3 different pin numbers and have received none up to this point. So then I got a notification from AdSense saying that my channel was no longer going to be monetized, meaning they're going to drop all the ads because I have not completed the identification process, because I have not submitted the PIN number that they have not sent. So there you go. So the right fighter in me is kind of a little bit ticked off, because people like me, and I don't really care about me, because I'm going to carry on painting and sharing with you guys whatever I can. I'm going to carry on doing what I've always done, and if I ever get a pin number, great. And I'm at that point where if I don't get a pin number, well, oh well. But you know what? A lot of artists and people work really hard at growing their channel, and it's super, super annoying that anything should have to be this difficult. So yeah, I'm not super happy with the whole thing. You know, if 10 people went through this, and I'm sure there's way more than me, if 10 people went through this, think of all the money YouTube is saving and AdAware is saving by not having to pay out the small portions of money that they pay to run ads on our channels. All right, there's my grumbling for this evening. Okay, so let's modify this. I'll go back through the colors later, guys. I just had to get my venting session off my chest. I had to. If I had to come up with a Disney movie that described me right now, I'm kind of like some of the 7 dwarfs. I'm like grumpy, dopey, and sleepy all rolled into the same package. Okay, so we're going to pick an area, and we're just going to go in and make some lines. So my very favorite tool is this one. You guys have seen it many, many times. And we are just going to do exactly that. We're going to pick an area, and we're just going to come in and make some lines. I'm going to wipe off right now. And I mean, I'll always wipe it off, but right now I'm going to. And that's it. Just like that. So I say this all the time, consistency is absolutely key for doing this. And if my paint is too thin, or I have too much of the mica powders in it, I can't get it to hold its shape. So absolutely consistency is key for this technique. And it takes a little bit of time to fart around and figure out, you know, what consistency works, what holds its shape the best. And once you've got it, you guys, the sky's the limit. You can modify your little butts off as much as you want or as little as you want. I haven't done this style of modifying for quite a while. I got kind of into swipes. I got right into swipes actually. As much as I really enjoyed doing these modifications, I find after a while everything I do starts to look alike to me, and so the swipes were really good because it's kind of endless possibilities. But this was super fun. Like I said, I did a practice piece last night just to see if I could still do it. So I'll put my description of my paints and colors in the description box. Just make sure you guys are still in frame. You are. And that's it, you guys. We're just going to keep going through this. We're going to keep making some modification lines. Doesn't have to be big. Doesn't, but the tidier you are with your lines now, the better the outcome. And the more contrast that you work with, obviously, the better the outcome. But we don't always have that option, so sometimes you just kind of have to work with what you've got. So if you hold your stick on an angle, you get a wider line. If you hold it straight up, you get a narrower line. So if you want lots of space between, just kind of put it on a bit of an angle and make your line. I did that one. You can, like I said, you can make this as complicated as you want. Sometimes less is more, sometimes more is more. You kind of have to always keep looking at it and decide, like, is there anything else that you could do that would make it any better, or is it just going to make it way too much? But for the sake of this piece, we're going to modify the bejeepers out of it. And just so you all get a really good, clear picture of exactly how we do this, how I do this. And we're just going to keep going. So if you want to make some little points on that, you've gone this way. So now you're going to go right back through it gently and pull it out. Right back through gently and pull it out. But this is pretty. I don't really want to do a lot with that, but we'll take a little bit. So I'm hoping that this video is, number one, in focus, because last night I tried to video a couple times and it was just a complete gong show. Nothing stayed in focus. Yeah, I wasn't at all pleased. My pores were quite pretty, and I'm more than willing to put the video up, but you have to bear with the first 5 minutes jumping in and out of focus. So my favorite part of these plastic kebabs is the little round tool, and you guys have all seen me do this a million times, but we're going to do it again for any new viewers. So this is how we make those little curly cues. You just hover it above gently and pull it back. That's not a great example because there's a lot of mica pigments in this color, and so it's not going to hold its shape very well right now. So I think we're just going to work that one out. 2 paints work way better for these swirls. Much better. So this is a 2 paint, this purple. So if you were to go in and make a curl there, you'll be able to see immediately how clean and crisp those lines are. That's the difference. The mica pigments, the Peggy's, Jacquard, EX, all of those, they work, but because of the mica, it kind of breaks up into little sections. So you might have to go back like in half an hour and just give it another little tweak. But it's totally doable. Totally doable. Okay, so that's all we're going to do for, oh, let's do something in here. For little lines, I was going to say we're not going to do any more little lines, but here, let's do it. But you can definitely go in with any color you want now and add some little dots. So I would try to pick a contrasting color or a color that's going to sort of pop on what you've already got to work with. So there's no reason why you want to go in and put gray dots on gray tips. So you could go back into this gray section with pink or with bright yellow or with white. And so I'm actually going to go in with white because that's what I have. And I'm just going to use my base paint white that's sitting on the table. And we're just going to do exactly that. You're just going to make a little dot. Obviously, the gentler you push, the smaller the dot. You can make some, you can make a dot going all the way down. And yeah, it's just kind of a fun way to add some little details. The base paint's a little harder to work with. I don't suggest that you start with that for dots, maybe, unless you pick it right straight up. But if you, because it's stringy, kind of makes a weird string. So there's some white dots. And I'm just going to keep playing, I think. Sometimes it's just really, really subtle lines that just kind of give you a little bit more visual interest. You don't always have to go like absolutely bonkers. Yeah, subtle. Subtle, subtle, subtle. So there's some white ones. What else can we add? Have a ton of colors out here. We could add some Payne's gray ones. A little bit of dark. Let's put some dark ones on. You can add your dots on your white. This piece is pretty, there's lots of stuff going on already, so I don't think we need to go totally crazy. But we could go in here for sure. Thank you for listening to me, guys, ranting away about YouTube. I'm super frustrated. As much as I say I don't care, it's really frustrating. It's frustrating that anything should be this difficult. Like, I see people doing stupid stuff that have 300,000 videos because they're just doing something stupid. And, you know, every time somebody views it, they're making money from that. All right, my friends, I'm going to quit here. So, Elise, thank you for this challenge. It was definitely a challenge. It's been a while since I've done a bloom, a traditional modified bloom. And I'm going to bring you guys in for a closer look and show you all these little details. And then I think I'm going to strip down and I'm going to put a swipe up. So I'll show you my orange pieces too. I will post the videos, but you guys really have to ignore the fact that things are not in focus. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not meant to be a videographer. Okay, guys, if I can get my phone off, I will show you. All right, here we go. So here's our pink piece. There's my big fat thumb in the middle of that. Here's our pink piece that we just did. It's pretty bright. It's pretty crisp with pretty clean lines, which is what I like. I'm not totally thrilled with this line here, wherever my finger is, but I may fix that, I may not. There's our little white dots and our curlicues. So, like I said, don't hesitate to go back like 15-20 minutes later when your paint starts to cure, and just hit them again, and then it will hold. And I will take you over for this magical mystery ride on my table. So there's my orange piece, which was my kind of my practice piece. I wasn't totally thrilled with it. I do like some parts of it. Like, I love this top part up here. This is lovely. I didn't want to mess with that, but I wasn't happy with the bottom. It's not at all surprising. I'm not really ever happy 100% with anything. And then let's go around the table. It's like a game. Oh, that was an earlier piece of just, that was a swipe. And then this was my modified orange piece that I was pretty happy with. So it has some really, really pretty cells. Pretty cells, lots of little dots. And I will put the video up and you guys can fast forward through the out of focus part and take what you will from the process. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me in the kitchen tonight. It's always fun hanging with you guys and having you hang with me. I appreciate everybody so very much. All right, guys, bye for now.